get rid of my LS400. I'm gonna trade it for, well, hopefully trade it for something else. It's on the trailer. We got Kyle manning the wheel, the unit.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, maybe have a new car that's gonna be totally different than my LS400, which is funny because I've never done a video or anything on my LS400. We'll see what comes. We'll see if the deal happens.
So what do you think? Are you gonna do it?
I think so. I think it'll be worth it. It's a lot of work that needs done to it, but I think it's gonna be fun to do it to it. I think the bones are good. The fab work looks good. It drives good. Has no brakes, but it drives good. What's up, everybody? So basically I have a pretty big update for anybody. Anyone who has followed me on social media, knows who I am or anything like that, they have known my LS400 build. I've been building them for about 7 years now. Started out with my first one was a piece of crap. Second one, long story, maybe I'll go into that another day. Third one, which is my baby, current project, and full build from the ground up. I'll put a video and photo up so you can actually see if you don't know what I'm talking about. But due to many people's surprise, some are happy, some are pretty upset with me about it, but I think it's a good change. I actually traded my LS400 and got rid of that car. So what I'm going to do today is actually introduce my new car. It's going to be a very big change from the VIP build. It kind of falls in line with my 240, my drift car, but it's not going to be strict drift car. I'm going to keep in show community, and well, I guess we'll open the garage and I can show you guys what it is. All right, well, you can kind of tell from the front end. Here's the new car, and this is it. Car's a 1988 RX7. Looks like shit right now. Original builder of the car did a awesome job with a lot of the work. Go over that in a moment. Second owner had the car. Total fucking hack job. Did a bunch of questionable stuff, so throughout this build, I'm gonna put a bunch of videos up showing everything we're changing, completely restyling the car, making the car look different, total refresh. So I'll kind of do a quick walk around.
That's good.
Are you recording now?
Yeah.
Is it good now?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, well, I'll just hop into it and kind of show you what we're working with. As I said, it's a 1988 RX7. Car has hand built by the original builder. Very, very, very wide front fenders. I mean, literally just ridiculously wide front fenders on there. Matching with the back, same thing. The wheels are pretty ridiculous spec-wise. My LS400 even, that car was really wide, crazy camber, way over the top. That was 1910.5s, 1912s. So this car is actually 18 by 12 front and a 18 by 12 rear. So they're actually same spec front and back on the car. Look at that. Look at that shoe size. 10.5 shoe for reference. Probably a dead giveaway as to one of the most exciting things about the car. It's not a Silverado, it's an RX-7. That's going away. That's really bad. Car has some weird, cool stuff on it. It actually has, which I'm going to end up rebuilding, chassis mounted side splitters on the car. It's got a pretty rad kit that actually needs some love, seeing as none of it's really bolted and it's all cracked and broken up. Paint on the car looks like trash. That's going to get redone.
Yeah.
It's not good. And it looks like someone like rattle canned it and then let it sit out in like the sun for a good year, which is probably what happened. It's probably exactly what it is. So the car is going to literally have to get like full sanded down, prep back up. Don't know if I'm going paint, don't know if I'm going wrap yet on the car. We'll play it how it goes. The bumper is questionable. It's probably my favorite bumper for this car, but I don't know what somebody was thinking when they decided to. It's supposed to have like a nice cool like little center, and it doesn't because somebody wanted to show off the rusty dash bar. There's no exhaust on it right now either. It's cut midway through. We'll get into why that horribleness is there. That we're gonna go into the bad here in a little bit. It's got some cool little East Bear mirrors on here. Little cool guys there. Probably the most exciting thing about the build before I hop into interior and some of the bad and all that is what's going on over here. It has a real rad vented hood. Pop-ups are deleted, as you can tell by how they riveted all that on there. It's kind of on there. There's actually a lot of water. It looks like a swimming pool in here, so that's going to go everywhere when I open my hood.
Great.
I'm wet. So, the fun stuff. Here's where the trade, which some people agree with, some people don't. My LS400 for this car kind of rolled into play. It dumped water all over it, but it's LS swapped. Car has a mildly built motor, we'll say, quote unquote. Well, I'm going to tear into that and find out what actually is done to it. I know there's like springs. I know there's new lift. It's just, there's some stuff apparently, but I don't trust what people say. It's got some headers that need to go. There's some modified Silverado headers. It's a 5.3, so it's not like a 6. It's not anything like LS1. You think it's an LSX? It's 5.3. Got all the cool bolt-ons. Some weird stuff going on with the car, which I don't understand at all. Instead of just buying motor mounts for the car and using the existing power steering setup, someone decided to modify the stock subframe and make their own subframe. And the car actually has a Mustang steering. You can see over here. It actually has a Mustang steering rack bolted to it, which is a manual rack. That manual rack, that's going. No, we're going back to power. This is horrible to drive. Like literally the worst thing in the world to drive right now with 18 by 12 inch front wheels and a manual steering rack. But it does have, I mean, angle kit, so it is set up, modified knuckles, different tie rods on it, which those are gonna have to go, new ones. Got the ball joint extenders on there. Coils are trash, those are going bye-bye. It's got some really old, probably very seized Megans on there.
Very crusty.
One of the coolest parts, and again, the original owner, Adam, killed doing all the work he did on this car. Full front end, as you can see. It's got a full tube front, angled radiator. It's got all the intakes for the radiator and everything. Even the bash bar, as you can see, it's got a whole tube frame running. Got a bash bar, and even the front diffuser is actually chassis mounted, as you can see there. It's got all that fanciness. Got some nice little fog light headlights there too. So yeah, it's got the fab work on this car was done. I mean, awesome. Adam killed it. That was probably looking through his build thread and his Instagram and everything he did to the car was like, yep, I'm trading this for this car because it does need a lot of work. A lot of work. It's not as pretty as my LS400, but it's fun. It's going to be rowdy. Yes, I am going to drift it. Not going to be my drift car. I'm sticking with my S14. Don't worry about that, thing's ugly right now. Sticking with that for drifting, but this will be a fun time car. It will be built strictly really for shows and street cruising. Yeah, there's a bunch more stuff I can show underneath there, but when we do a little more detailed of a build, we'll kind of dive into that stuff. I don't know, the inside is, it's weird. It's weird. I don't know what's going on with some of this stuff in this car. As you can see, it's got some form of door part on there.
The roll-up windows.
It does have roll-ups. They don't. It doesn't close all the way. The window's stuck. Kind of. That needs fixed. The water got in the car the other day when it rained. That wasn't a great thing. It's got a bolt-in cage. It's just a half cage for now. It does have the actual pieces that go over around the doors. Those are pointless. It doesn't do anything. I'm not putting those back in. It has an S13 dash. I don't know if people know this, but you can actually, with just a mild bit of trimming, you can actually bolt a S13 dashboard into an FC RX7. Weird thing. Horrible hydro hand placement. I mean, what is this? It doesn't even work right now. There's that. Gauge cluster swapped out, all new digital gauges, all that fun stuff. Half of them don't work. Again, going off of the previous owner's hack job. It's got a custom harness. That's gonna be fun. That's gonna be weird to figure out. It's got nice switchboards, startup thing in there. It's got a very cheap feeling NRG seat that needs to go. That needs to go bad. It's got a stock passenger seat. And an update for anybody, if you want to put harnesses in your car, please don't put whatever this is. Don't do this. This is really bad. Would you feel safe in that?
No.
Would you want to ride in the car with those belts in?
No.
No, it's gonna fucking kill me. I mean, they're bolted up kind of good. That bolt's not even tight. That's great. Yeah, now I can get to the part I'm dreading about this car. So, when the car was built, the car was actually, again, Adam killed it with the build. It transferred hands to another guy, and a rundown of the biggest part I have to redo. Rear end of the car. The car originally had a RX-8 rear subframe, 488 diff, had the Ronin diff mount kit, It had all new bushings in it. It had drive shaft shop 1,000 horse axles in it. It had dual caliper setup, the whole 9 yards of what it's supposed to have. And then the next guy got the car, and his words are he blew up the diff and the axles, and instead of going to the junkyard and buying a new diff and sending the axles to be replaced under warranty, because they're warranted for life.
You are throwing shots right now.
I mean, what the fuck else is supposed to do? The car, basically the dude blew this shit up and took the rear end out of a fucking Ford Mustang and got rid of independent rear suspension and put in a solid axle. And he goes going to drift it. He's not gonna fucking drift with a solid axle. This car drives like dick. I literally drove it around the lot and I was like, this feels like shit. Why does this drive so bad? Well, let's look at something that, look, this is, if you're gonna fabricate or work on a car, especially putting something like that in, know what the fuck you're doing. Don't make things up. I mean, this is how bad. When you do a solid rear axle, it has to be very meticulous, right? Okay, so let's look at the rear fitment here. See how this is like this? See how that sticks, that's, why in the fuck is this that far? You didn't bolt it in straight. You didn't put any of that in straight. That's not even safe to drive. I called him on the phone and his words were, the rear end blew up, so we did the Mustang rear end. With doing the Mustang rear end, his words were, it's supposed to be a 4-link, but we didn't really get to it, so it's kind of a 3-link rear end. What the fuck is a 3-link rear end, first off? It's kind of a 3-link rear end. There's some shit bolted to some shit that made it sit this far sideways. You can literally see when you pop the trunk, which is kind of torn apart right now. What is this? What do we have? Okay, so what is that, first off? Let's take a look at this. What is this? This is what you did? Not only did you do this, so I need to cut this all out. Now I need to patch the floor, and I need to delete all this. I'm putting the exact same rear end in there. It's getting a 488. All that stuff's going back into the car. So that'll all come back. And then additionally, let's get this thing up, which is kind of a pain in the ass to get up. You put this thing in. It's kind of hard to see. But that's where the rest of the rear end is bolted to. On top of that, there's a bolt there that's really sketchy into thin sheet metal. There's a bolt there. There's not even a bolt over here. That's gone. That's not there. This looks safe. No, it doesn't. So I need to do that. I need to, look over all this, because there's the things were cut out, and questionably cut out. I don't like that. But, yeah. Other than those things, it's a good base. I'm not worried about the rear end. I'm not stressed about anything. My biggest goal with this car was to actually be able to, again, build another chassis that I can drift, that I can take to shows, that I can have fun with. I love my LS, but after getting into drifting, driving the S14, even driving my wife's E46, driving her Z, even driving my GTI, which is, don't look at that, that's not good.
No.
But even doing that, I would go to car shows and everybody else would be shifting, driving through the mountains, ripping, and I'm stuck in a big body car and I got really bored. I got bored of it. I love the car, I love the chassis, but I got bored. This is gonna be more fun. I can rip through the mountains, I can cruise around, I could fucking take a drifting. So, blessings to my cousin and my uncle. Last week I reached out to him and said, hey, I need a complete rear subframe. I need a complete rear front subframe to redo everything on this car. The only one I can find is in Tennessee. It's 3 hours from you guys. I know it's a stretch, but it's like 8 hours from me. Can you help me? Crazy enough, my uncle and my cousin said, we'll hop in the car. They drove 3 hours there, drove it back home, and the next weekend drove all the way up to Ohio. And again, don't mind my junkyard. This is a lot of stuff. I got a full new rear end going in the car. It'll get the 488, it'll get the Ronin kit, it'll get the new axles. Everything's gonna get basically refreshed on this whole back end. It's a really good condition rear end. Additionally, I've got a whole front end. Comes with power steering already on it. Just gotta start collecting parts and get everything put together. So it's a long project ahead. I think I'll be able to get it done a lot faster than I thought I would, but yeah, here it is. The new build, the new project. But besides the negatives, there are a lot of good positives. It's gonna be really cool content to post up. It's gonna be a fun build, something I'm more into. and it's going to be a blast to drive. There's going to be a total restyling. I'll be pulling aspects from Hertz FC, from Item B, some Evans FC, and it's going to be cool. I think everybody's going to be hyped. So let me know what you think. If you think it's a bad idea, tough luck. I'm happy. I'm excited for it. If you're happy about it, sweet. There'll be a lot more videos. And here it is.